She has a car. She doesn't have any children. And there's not a man in sight because she's a threat to him. She's like kryptonite to him. And a lot of black men can't handle that.
Is it that men are not finding what they want in women today, or that they're just scared of you? Subscribe. Let's talk about it.
Go ahead. Keep screaming strong and independent. Meanwhile, men are out here choosing fit, feminine, friendly, and submissive, not combative, masculine, and stubborn. And if you got kids, you're not disqualified, but you are on a harder level. You gotta prove why a man should take care of your situation. He could easily build one from scratch with someone else.
Okay. Or
the same thing, I'm gonna make it plain for you ladies. The same thing happens with black women. When a black woman is educated, she owns her own house, she has a car, she doesn't have any children, and there's not a man in sight because she's a threat to him. She's like kryptonite to him. And a lot of black men can't handle that.
So listen, I think this conversation we have to add some nuance and caveat into it. Part of the reason why we can't seem to come to a satisfactory conclusion, and I think you already kind of know where I side with this, is because you look at men and you say they're all the same. They're simple creatures. That what one does, it stands for every other one of them. Now, let's start this off properly by saying, are there some men that are intimidated by women that have made it and done things for their life? Absolutely. There's too much variety going on to say the same thing that what it's just one man is the same as all others. It defeats the whole crux of this whole conversation, this whole video. But when you shoot low and you compare your status that you've made it, you've done it, you've got the education, you've got the crib, you don't have any kids, you've got cars, you got multiple cars, you have the condo, you have the 401k, you have the rentals, you've done it all, right? You've done everything that you aim for, you've got it, and you've excelled in it. Then what happens? You deal with the man that has done nothing like that. You deal with the man that you would say is lesser than you. And then when he tells you, I'm intimidated by you, or when you get that impression, then you think, aha, this is the reason, this is it. This has got to be the case. This holds for all the men. There are men out there that are going to look and say everything that you've done, even when they haven't accomplished that, and just say, cool, I'm happy for you. It doesn't move their needle. They don't care. They look and say, these are accomplished, these are amazing. But okay, he never wanted to do anything like that, or his pursuits lie somewhere else, or he simply just does not care. Now, let's create another scenario. When you've done all these things and then you are talking to a man that has done something similar or more or better, because that's what you want. That's what hypergamy says. You want to be with a man that is doing better than you, and he looks and still says, yeah, I don't really care. That doesn't move the needle. That's not what he's looking for. You think that men are looking for the same thing in partners as you're looking for men. No, we're not. So when you lead with these things, you said, these are the reasons why I'm unhappy and I can't find someone. No, it's just that we understand in the pursuit of this dopeness, of this greatness, right? On this monetary side, on this accomplishment side, sometimes you got to get ruthless. Right? You've got to get ruthless. That's part of what makes people successful in a capitalistic society. You've got to kind of be ready to slit someone's throat, metaphorically. Don't do that in real life. But this is how you get to that spot. Then when men, like the first woman said, they're looking for a bit of that softness. It's hard to be soft when you have to make decisions that may impact other people's lives, living situations. It may impact their livelihood, and you say, hey, yeah, I got to let you go because you're not performing to task. This is what this business needs first and foremost. Oh yeah, that erodes a little bit of that softness. We don't have a society where we taught people how to code switch properly. We know how to do it in languages. We know how to do it when we're in the street, when we're talking to friends, versus when we go to our workplace. But in the type of personalities that we have that exist, this isn't severance. You don't just get to separate and have a different type of personality when you're at work versus when you're at home or with the rest of the world. No, everything sort of bleeds over to everything today. You take your work home, you bring that stress home with you. You rarely take that happiness you had at home and bring it out there. So the two worlds end up bleeding together. It ends up eroding parts of your personality. You change. And then the thing that men are saying that they look at as a high priority, you don't really have that in spades. You can visit it. You know where its location is, but you need to book a ticket. You need a flight to get there. You need an 8-hour, flight to get there with layover. So that when men say, hey, it's not really what I'm looking for, and they pass on, even when they don't have that level of success, you think somehow it's that. No, because one or a few men that you've met that you've been aiming low towards, they look and say, I can't do any of that, or they look to mooch and take advantage of you. You look and say, this must be the thing for all men, because you have a monolithic way of looking at men. We don't get the nuance, we don't get the grace, we don't get the humanity that you afford each other. You look at each other and say, yo, girl, this and this, every one of us is different. You don't do that for men. This is why you're going to be confused. You don't understand that there's a different class, there's a hierarchical structure when it comes down to men. Some men are going to compete, most men are compete with each other. And they're going to look and say, yeah, you haven't done this, you haven't got this. This is why you see all the nonsense out there with the jewels, the cars, the clout chasing, all that. It's still intrinsic, still happens even in the other fields, in other places. You're not part of this country club. You don't have this exclusive access to this. You don't summer in Napa. What's wrong with you? You don't have a place in Puglia. What's wrong with you? You just haven't made it yet. You just haven't, but you keep working at it. You'll get there one day. Or my family comes from this type of money. Your family doesn't. You're new rich. You're no very rich. There's a competition happening all times. That's how men look at each other. But when we're trying to say what we want from a partner, we don't look at that. I don't care that you have, you have these rentals. I'm looking at that. That's impressive. That's great. That's an accomplishment that imagine what we could do together. Imagine what we would pass on, the work ethic we could pass on to our children. That's how I look at it. But also, if you haven't accomplished anything like that, hey, yeah, the children's still going to get this work ethic. They're still going to get the best of us. Now, what is the best of you? If you want that man's attention and you don't want to think it's a competition thing, then you're going to have to be the thing that he's looking for first and foremost. I think what we have in society today is the ability to cope and pretend like you don't ever have to change. You don't ever have to do anything that causes you to actually have to be better. It's easy to just say, I'm going to stay the course and be exactly who I've always been, and I expect the world to bend the knee around me. How's this? You just simply say there's something wrong with every other guy that you've met. That has to be the problem. In reality, you'd have to look at this and say, realistically, can't be everyone. All the guys are just intimidated by the amount of success I've had. Every one of them. Okay. How about we do the same? When we flip the script, that's why you do that. That's why you hold the mirror to things. So you can see the hyperbole. You can see how wild it is. Every woman out there, she just wants to gold dig. She just wants what I have. Every woman. You see how silly that is. You rush to defend. You rush to say, absolutely not. Not all women. Okay, but when you say not all men, that doesn't ring true, does it? You hate that. You decry that. You say, no, that can't be the case. No. He's just jealous. He's just intimidated. If you wanted to compete with men as men compete with each other, okay, you don't want that world. You don't want what that looks like. It's cutthroat. It's awful. And there's no grace given to that. There's nothing. There's just like, no, you're someone to beat, to conquer, or to learn from. That's it. That's what competition looks like. That's where people become intimidated or not. When we look at women, that's not how we primarily look at that. You can continue to tell yourself that and continue to be exactly who you are and getting the same results. That's the other crux of this conversation. If you're not willing to try to change, to try to adapt, to try to improve, to try to alter some technique, something there, you're going to get the same results you've ever been getting. And if those results are not satisfactory to you, as they aren't, because you're on here talking about this, offering alternative reasons why, with the hope that there's going to be one guy that gets it and just falls in and says, oh yeah, all those other guys that you met before, they're absolutely wrong. You're betting on a hope, on a dream that somehow this is different. You're trying to play the lottery and this is supposed to impact the rest of your life. It's foolishness. Rather than saying, let me study the opponent, let me study the person sitting across from me on this chessboard and understand exactly what they're looking for. You know the goal. This is what they want. This is what they say they want. This is what they purport. This is what they respond to. Okay, now it's time to say, am I willing to adapt and alter parts of my game to get the end result? If not, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to. I'm not encouraging anyone to change who they are in the fact of saying, I'm not going to change for a man. Okay. You don't want to adapt. You don't want to play the game. That's admirable. Stay the course. You can always have access to men, but that quality, that difference maker that you're looking for, that you may be looking for, understand that's probably not happening. Right? You close the door on that, because people that have done the work, especially for men, that it took to rise up to that level, they understand that the odds are currently in their favor. If they're looking to settle down, they say, I'm going to get exactly what I want. If you're not getting those people, then you're not what he wants. It's unfair, it's cruel, it's simple though. This is just how it is with men. But listen, if you disagree, I've been wrong before. Let me know down in the comments below. If you see all the videos on your screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And of course, if you have not subscribed to the channel, I really think you should. We're just trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.